Hello once again, James here with computerized accounting tutorials with QuickBooks. Now after creating your company, before you start posting any transactions, it is very important to first create or enable the following preferences. These company preferences help you to control and have grips to your company. Among these are the currency preference, where you set the currency in which you work, the payment preference, which tells you where your money will be sent in case you are paid, the items and inventory preference, the markup preference, and the tax preference. Among others, there are several preferences you're supposed to set when you are to have a good and successful company running. So let us go back to our company and we see how this can be achieved. So if you remember, we had completed creating our company, and when we close among the list of companies, now you see our company James. So I will click in it, then I come here and I choose open. This is James highlighted in green, and I choose open. Then it will start loading my company. So remember, we put a password, so the company is password protected. I will put my password and I click OK. So if the password is right, your company will load like it has done. So it wants us to set up an external account, but for now let's first ignore that. We'll come back to that later. So this is the window it creates for us. Before we look at the preferences, I want us to briefly look at this window. What we see here is the home window. The home window tells us or guides us on how we are supposed to do our business. You see the different arrows directing us to the different parts on our procedures, how the procedures are supposed to run when you're working with your business. When you look at it carefully, we see our vendors, the people we do business with, or who give us products, who sell to us what we sell. We also have our customers, the customers of our business. Those are the people who we sell our products to. In the same fashion, we also have our chart of accounts here. This is now the list which you saw, which was previewed when we were creating the company. Can always press escape, the escape key, to go back home. If I'm in vendors, I press escape, it will take me back home. If I'm in customers, press escape to take us back home. Items and services, press escape to take us back home. Now these arrows direct us on the processes. That if you run a purchase order, you receive the inventory, you enter the bill, and you pay the bill. If you are to sell to somebody, they will make a sales order, you create an invoice, receive payment, generate receipts, and record the deposit. So this home tool or this home window helps us to at least have a quick peek of how the transactions or how the movements are supposed to work. At the side here we have the modules which you can work with. The home, of course, if for one reason or another maybe I close this home here, pardon me, if you close that home, you will notice that you can bring it back on the modules tab. So my home might be away. If I want it, I just click home here and it will come back. So if you want information about your company, you click on this. So these modules will be quite helpful as we work along. Some of them are related to the modules up here. Like you see customers, you also see customers, and you can see the same thing in customer center. So basically that is how QuickBook works. But in this video we're supposed to be seeing the preferences and how we adjust those preferences. So to get the preferences right, all the controls or the preferences QuickBooks works with are in the Edit sub-tab or in the Edit menu here. When we click on it, we come and we say Preferences. So here it will generate a list of preferences. We said we are supposed to look at a few of them. We said we wanted the company preference, the currency preference, the payment, items and inventory, markup, and tax preferences are the ones we are going to look at in this case. So let's start with the currency preference, the money. What money do you want to work with? So you will come and click in multiple currencies. Then you go to company preferences, since this is a company. Then you say there are two options. I use only one currency, and the default currency then is the dollar, so that you will be working in dollars. If you want to change, then you say I use more than one currency. It will give you the statement to track multiple currencies. You will have to agree to it after reading the terms. Then you say okay. Then here it will list the currencies. Yours is not showing among these. You say view more currencies, and there you have it. So in this case I'm going to use the Uganda shilling as my currency. Then I say make it active, and yes. So there I've set my currency, and I say okay, and I close. So it will restart the process or the program, the company program, and it will take me back to the beginning. That is, now it has set the currency preference. So if I went to, for example, my chart of accounts, you will notice that I have a currency column for UGX. Okay. We go back and look at the tax preference. If I click multiple currencies, I can say sales tax. When I click in sales tax, I say company preferences. I say I want to add a sales tax item. Yes, I add a sales tax item. I call it maybe VAT, value added tax. It's the sales tax. I give it a percentage, maybe 18%. I need to have a tax agency. I don't have any. The agency to which I pay the tax, so I'll click add. Maybe I will say RSA is my company, which my vendor who collects the tax. Then of course the date now when you are starting. If we are to go back, we said we are starting in January, we can take it back to that. Then we say okay, and okay. So there now I've set up my tax preference, which I will use later on. I'm supposed to say okay to confirm that. We are supposed to also look at the payment preference, very important. Now the payment preference allows you to receive your money in the account which you want. If you don't set that payment preference, your money will be sent to an account. When you receive a payment, it will go to an account known as undeposited funds. So would we want that? So when you click in payment, you see it says use undeposited funds as a default deposit to account. By default, that is checked. So if you want to be able to select where your money goes, you have to uncheck this, and you say okay and okay. Then lastly but not least, you have to look at the markup percentage or the markup preference. This preference allows you to set selling prices for your items basing on their cost prices, such that you don't bother yourself with thinking up selling prices. How do we do this, or where do we get this? We go to our time and expense preferences, go to company preferences, then it will ask us for the default markup percentage. Let's say on the price we bought our items, we are going to be adding on 35%. So I'll put here my 35, and the default markup accounts will be linked to sales. So having done that, you still say okay. Then lastly, one of the last preferences we are going to do is the items and inventory preference. Now this one allows you to control your sales, the sales of your products, buying and selling of your products, somewhere around here. What happens is, in some instances you might find that these inventory and purchase orders are not active. It means if this one is not checked, you won't be able to create products, or you won't be able to enter products in your system. So if it is unchecked like that, I want you to notice when you go back home, then you try to come to items and you try to create an item, you will notice that there is no option for inventory part. There is non-inventory. Non-inventory are those goods which are bought on order, or which are ordered and sold on order from the supplier straight to the end consumer. So if you want goods which you put in your shop and wait for clients to come over, then you have to have checked the inventory and purchase orders are active. So we'll go back to edit preferences, items and inventory, company preferences, inventory and purchase orders active, then we say okay and okay. So if we go back and this time try to see if we can generate a new item, notice now that the inventory part is available. Okay, so basically those are some of the startup preferences one must have worked with or must have set in order for them to be able to start working with their company. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.